Hello, people of the internet. I know the lighting's crappy right now, but it'll fix itself because we have these freaking good for the environment lights in here, and it takes a while for them to freaking warm up, and you guys probably know that, and I like original lights better. And these two lights are out up here, you don't see it, so the left side looks really dark, but over here it's pretty light. So I'm gonna play you a song today. Not really. Screw that. But I mean, if you want me to, I could do that sometime. Really, anytime. But right now my computer's still crashed, trying to fix it, trying to work on it. I had to get a new hard drive, and then some other shenanigans and crap happened. So, anyways, it's still gonna be a while. I'm gonna keep on doing NFL picks though, cause that's my life right now. Until snowboarding, that's my life. Football, watching football. That's what it is, cause I don't care about anything else. All right, so week 1 went okay for me. Didn't go great. Didn't go too terribly. I went out on a couple of limbs in my league where I'm actually doing this pool in. All the people just were straight up pussies, and I don't know why. So, and they all like pick the favorites and such. When I make my picks, I don't even look at who's favored. I just base it off of my opinion. So I made these picks on Sunday. I made all of them, decided on it, and then I checked. I usually don't even look at the. I didn't even look at the favorites, the point spread last week, until after I sent in the picks and it was too late. So I looked at them on Monday and I'm like, well, crap! I picked all the favorites pretty much. So I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with it because that's what I said before. I looked at the favorites or whatever. So I'm just sticking with it. I don't care. Because I think it's pretty obvious. I think this week is pretty easy. Most of the picks are pretty self-explanatory. New England versus the New York Jets. Now, I'm picking the Patriots because they are obviously the favorite and they're probably going to win. And nobody in my league is going to pick the Jets. So there's no point for me to pick the Jets unless I wanted to take a lead. However, I think the Jets do have a chance because the New England defense isn't the greatest. And the Jets somehow actually always somehow stay in the game with New England. Not last year with the butt fumble though. That was hilarious. Hopefully that occurs again. Mark Sanchez comes into the game for 1 second after Geno gets hurt. I don't know. I want the Jets to win. I don't know. Yeah. So Atlanta versus St. Louis. St. Louis is a good team, but I'm going to pick Atlanta, just the better team. Carolina versus Buffalo. It could go either way. However, I think Carolina played well against the Seahawks. I was expecting that game to be pretty much a blowout. I thought this Carolina would basically be shut out. They got 7 points, and Seattle didn't play. Well, it was a good defensive game. So I think the Carolina defense is very underrated, and I think they'll probably prosper over Buffalo. I like both these teams equally, probably. I probably like Carolina a little better. So I like to see AJ do well too, but I'm picking Carolina. I don't know who I'm cheering for. Probably Carolina because I have Cam Newton on my fantasy team. So, Chicago versus Minnesota. I'd like to pick Minnesota, but Adrian wasn't that much of a beast last week. He got one 78-yard run, but besides that, he didn't do anything. And I'm just going to pick Chicago, not because Chicago's any good, but because, I don't know, just because Ponder sucks. I was a believer in Ponder. I still kind of believe in him, but he sucked last week. Green Bay versus Washington. It's Green Bay. Washington was crap. Robert Griffin III's terrible. They'd be much better off with Kirk Cousins. Sure, Robert Griffin III will probably be better as the year goes on, but you have to keep in mind, they were playing against Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is probably in the top 5 worst defenses in the league, behind like the Saints, and the Saints are probably better the Saints are better this year. So I don't know, maybe they're like the worst defense in the league, and Washington wasn't able to do anything about it. But Chip Kelly probably doesn't care because when he was in Oregon, all he ever freaking did was freaking use his offense. They scored enough points they didn't even need defense. So hopefully that's where the Eagles will go. Anyways, that's what I don't know where I got there, but whatever. Colts versus Miami. Picking Colts, pretty easy pick. Even though the Colts didn't play that great last week, it could have been that the Raiders played well. I still think that the Colts will win it at home. Kansas City versus Dallas. This is probably going to be the closest game of all of these, or hardest to make a decision on. And I'm probably biased. I picked Kansas City just because I don't like Dallas. I don't believe in Tony Romo. Tony Romo played I don't know. Dallas wasn't that great. Tony Romo's Tony Romo's not. Tony Romo's gonna be fine from that freaking rib injury or whatever. He just got that wind knocked out of him. He's a pussy. And Des Bryant's hurt, but who cares? I still think Kansas City will win it. Philadelphia versus San Diego. Philadelphia. They proved themselves. That was the one pick where I went out on a limb last week and I got it. Eagles versus Washington. I picked the Eagles. So Eagles over San Diego. San Diego, you can't finish games and you're terrible. And Monty Taylor's gonna be back for that game, which means that the freaking Chargers will be worse. Baltimore versus Cleveland. Baltimore for sure. Cleveland didn't play very well last week, and I was kind of hoping they would win that game, even though I picked Miami. So, whatever. Baltimore is still going to be a good team. They got, in the last Thursday night game, that game, the Baltimore Ravens probably would have won it if Harbaugh would have challenged the Wes Welker drop pass, because then that was at the very start of the half, and without Peyton going down that field and getting a touchdown, the morale would have been still with the Ravens, and probably the Ravens would have won that. So I still think the Ravens are a good team. People are freaking out because Peyton got 7 TD game. That was after that the Ravens screwed up. But still, I think the Ravens could have won that game if Harbaugh challenges that play. Houston versus Tennessee, no brainer. Houston, even though they just don't play well in big games. That's why they started off so far behind in the Monday night game. They play terribly in big games. But in the regular games, they're freaking incredible. So, definitely Houston, no doubt. Detroit versus Arizona is another kind of tough one, but then I decided Carson Palmer didn't do anything last year with the Raiders, so who's to say he'll do anything this year with Arizona, besides the fact that they do have Michael Floyd and Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm forgetting somebody else. They also have some other beast. It's still Detroit, because I picked against them last week. I didn't believe in them, and they played... I didn't get to see the game, but I'm assuming they played pretty well. Reggie Bush has been an incredible player so far in preseason and in the regular season so far. So, we'll see. Saints versus Tampa Bay. Saints, they played well against Atlanta. So, Saints, I still think that they're a potential Super Bowl team that nobody's talking about. Oakland versus Jacksonville. I'd like to pick Jacksonville, but Oakland, Terrell Pryor, it pains me to say it, but he's doing well. He got he got the second most rushing yards last week out of any player, behind probably McCoy. I think that's right. But that's still impressive either way. He got 100 plus yards on the ground, and I think he had 2 interceptions, but still, it was his first start. Matt Flynn, you are terrible. You've been robbed of the starting job 2 years in a row. You should just retire. Broncos versus the Giants. I'd like to pick the Giants, especially since they're at home, but I picked against Denver last week and I regretted it. Well, I didn't regret it, but it ended out terribly. The Giants played great in the second half of their game, but they played terribly in the first half. I think the Giants can win it, but I'm still picking Denver. Seattle versus San Francisco. It's a biased pick because I think this game will be the best of the week. It can go either way, but I'm going to pick Seattle just because I like the Seahawks better. Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. I'd like to pick Pittsburgh, but their offensive line sucks right now. Pouncey's out. Raplesberger got 5 sacks last week, so I think the Steelers are going to be the worst in their division now, unless their O-line can get better. Cincinnati, second best. Cleveland, third best. So, that's that. And Ravens are going to win that division again this year. Ravens or Cincinnati. I don't know. I'm going Ravens. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this internet video. I went a little long, but that is it. I'm going to keep on doing these. If it's the only video I upload all week, it's the only video I'm going to upload all week, but I'm going to keep on doing them. Let me know what you guys think of these picks. I'm a beast. Holy crap, 10 minutes long? Hope you guys watch this.